Good evening. The Who's today were on at the farm, Warwick Farm. Uh, Pretty miserable day, although right toward the second last race, the sun broke through the clouds. We got a bit of sunshine. The rain had stopped, but before the first race, there was around about 11 o'clock this morning. The track received plenty of rain, and the track was downgraded before the first to a heavy 8, then I think a heavy 9. The rail was 5 metres out from the 1,000 metre to the post, and then it was 2 metres remainder. There was no wind, and of course we saw the track play towards a little bit towards leaders, but most certainly not those on the fence, close to the fence. You had to be. It was best to be up near the lead, but off the 18 pence, and get to the middle of the track, and that was the go. And it was, although there was a runner came from about midfield in the second last race. What was his name? Not Kimberly Kidd, Youthful King. It came from sort of midfield and swept around them, made up good ground. But they had gone fast. But as I say, up near the lead, off the fence, was the place to be. Now, this first race, it was one. Well, first of all, they said there was losing figures on the screen. Oh my God, the robots, they were on the phone to the coppers straight away. 98.3% on the screen. Down in the marketplace, 94% to an empty house. It was a ghost town, the first race. Few punters, they grumble and grunt as they came, the regulars only, not one new face. They were hiding in the bleachers, and of course they came out and poked around here and there. But there was only 94% in this first race. These were the fluts. Fancy 94% and one runner evens to threes. Didn't have a price. I'm talking about the All Cerise, number one. It opened up $2. We put it up evening money on the field, and it started for 3 to 1, $4. It was evens to fours. Would the owners of All Cerise please step forward? They didn't turn up at the races today. Number two, Fairyland. It was $13 into 10. Kona. It was $5 into 370 at one stage. Got back up to 380. QC, it was $7 out to $8.50, back into $6.50. The winner, you won't see it, Il Milo Destino, $9 given, 8 to 1, only started about the $6.57 mark. And the bottom one, Red Hot Dane, also didn't have a price. It went from $4 out to $5.50. 94%. The two opening favourites didn't have a price, and the winner was $9 into $7, hard to get. And it sat outside the leader. It led Fairyland, and the winner sat outside it. The horse that ran second, failing by a nose, coming in between runners, settled down last in the field of 6. Red Hot Dane failed by a nose. The runner that stayed closest to the fence after leading was Fairyland. The favourite, it sat in a beautiful position. Well, it didn't start favourite number one. The opening favourite, All Cerise, sat in third, and as the betting suggested, it wasn't going to win. It dropped out and ran last, beaten 5.4 lengths after having every chance. Race 2, they said there was 106.3 on the screen. There was 4 less in the marketplace, 102. Straight away, the favourite, they said the best luck, the favourite was Evans. It finished up getting the cash. The first starter, proper Peter Roble was aboard for Dick Van Dyke at training at Warwick Farm, and while there was plenty of $2.10 given, and it started $1.80. They how much me at the finish at $1.90. The pros, of course, they're very hard to beat, those pros. And it missed the kick, jumped a little bit awkwardly, but it looked at the leader, who was very disappointing, Mugaroo, number 6. It led and did get a bit of a break on the favourite, who was running second, as I say, coming to the turn, but it was gone soon after straightening and finished up running last, the leader. and the favourite got past it fairly quickly, both of them getting to the middle of the track. And coming off the favourite's back was Swift Thunder, another one the pros found, from $30 into 17, 30s into 16 to 1. Swift Thunder, and it only failed by a half a length. So they were right on the mark there. The favourite set up near the lead. But there was a bit of money for number one at one stage. It did draw the inside alley, which wouldn't have helped it. It was close to the fence. It was $6 taken at one stage into 5, but got back out to start at $6. Race 3, they said there was 104.2 on the screen, 3 less in the marketplace with runners here and there, 101 in the marketplace. And straight away, well, this favourite, Rastro, they said the best luck was $2.80. Well, there was a mile of $3.10. If there was $3.20 given in the outside ring, a little bit of difference there, plus a couple of other runners. So there was a good 3 or 4% less in the marketplace. And the winner, they didn't forget to back this. The pros again, they backed 2 runners in this race. There was a late scratching Lee Cap, the bottom weight, who was resuming from the spell that had been gelded, but it was scratched. A late scratching, not before the betting went up by the same token. But leading in this race was Kreskin. It dropped out and ran last. It went fairly ordinary. Rastro, as I say, $3.20 into $2.70 at one stage. At one stage, I laid 7,000 to 4,000. It did start. It started at $2.80, but they didn't miss the winner, and I laid a lot of good bets, and I lost on this race, even though I did lay the favourite. The winner was $8, Mount Nebo, $8 into $5, hard to get. And like an absolute fool, I went the wrong way late in betting. I had up $5.50, the winner. It was breaking me, or might have been breaking me square, and I thought I'd brought it in to $5, but I went the other way. Don't ask me how. I don't, for a start, I don't know I'm on the racetrack. And it went out, I went the other way. Instead of bringing in to 4 to 1, $5, I went $6. And who was there straight away? One of the pros. And I said, oh, yes, you can have that. But then I looked around on the board and I saw that I'd gone the wrong way, but I still let him on for a good bet. And of course, when you make a mistake, you pay for it. And it got the cash. It sat second, Mount Nebo, and the favourite was on its outside. They quickly got past Kreskin, the leader, and Mount Nebo held Rastro all the way down the straight to beat it by a half a length. Of course, Mount Nebo, the Stipes asked what was the improvement. Well, it did go out last start at Canterbury, I think it was Canterbury, in 33 seconds for the first 600 or around about. It went very fast last start. But even taking that into account, I must admit, I wasn't that keen on it, nor the favourite. Omniscent, well, it ran a very good race, Omniscent, considering it did draw barrier 1. It was closest to the fence all the way. And of course, this was only the 3rd race. After seeing the first 2 races, I think everybody had said, oh, the fence is completely gone. And Omniscent had box 1, and it opened up a 9 to 4 chance, a clear second favourite in front of Rastro. Rastro opened up $2.60, $3.20 Omniscent. Omniscent started $7. It was only 9 to 4 to 6s, and it ran a good race, as I say, only beaten 2.5 lengths on the worst part of the track. Race 4, on the screen, oh my God, they're on the phone again. The bunnies, what do they call them? The robot bookies, the robots. They wouldn't anyway. 99.2 in the on the screen. In the marketplace, 94.5. You wouldn't see it. The winner here, Minkai, as much as $6.50 was given about Minkai, and best luck I think was $5. So there's 5% straight away, and the other, and it finished up getting the cash Minkai. It was extremely well backed. It started $4.60. The opening favourite here was the top weight Mahatma, it went up a 7-4 chance, $2.80. Quickly got out to $3.80, but came in back into about $3.30 at one stage. You could lay whatever you wanted at $3.40 at one stage, which I got a bit of section out of it at $3.40, but it was $3.80 begging again at the finish. Miss Tatar, well, I'll give you the flux in this race. Mahatma, I've told you. Miss Tatar opened up $6, got out to 8, started only $5.50. Zaza Bings, $5 into $3.50 at one stage, back out to $3.80. Minkai, as I say, you wouldn't see it, $6.50 into $4.60. Tijon now, this is the runner that didn't have a price and made the race absolutely worthless, and it only went from $3.50 out to $9, a 5-2 chance out to 8s. It was 12 out to 20 Nantucket Bay. Princess Starlight was 30 out to 60, 70 out to 80, Sugar Please, and RTU was always 100 to 1. It led in the race, Nantucket Bay, on its outside, the favourite Mahatma. The winner tucked in third behind them, and on its outside was Princess Starlight. Back in the field running last was the second horse, Zaza Binks. And when they came down the side before the turn, ridden by Jeff Penza, he took off, but he didn't go around them. He went inside them, and he went past the winner as if it was standing still before the turn. The leaders had collapsed, and it got clear, and then the winner finished up getting to the outside of the second horse, Zaza Binks, and it proved a little bit too strong down the running to win by 2.8 lengths. The third horse was distance, well, when I say distance, 13.8 lengths away to the third horse. First and second in this race had a lap on the others. Race 5, 112.4 on the screen. It's sweet now that they say, no, it's all right, it's all right. But only 5 less in the marketplace, 107. And this race was won by Caesar's Princess, and they found it. $15 given about Caesar's Princess, and I'd say it was because of the alley. Of course, the pumper didn't ride Caesar's Princess. It was a replacement rider, the brilliant Brendan Abdallah was on board, and it led in this race. Give my regards, who also drew an outside alley, and the pros labelled it from as much as $12 bet about Give my regards, and it only started about a $7 chance. It was extremely well backed, and but the winner, it led, and the winner came across from an outside alley, Caesar's Princess, and it sat outside it and proved. They ran first and second. It proved a bit too strong, beating it by 1/2 of a length, and coming from about 5th or 6th position was the third horse, My Sabile, who was to be ridden closer today, and it was, but it hung in under pressure in the straight. And of course, you couldn't give it away. Princess Layla, it went from, we put them up $4 a pair, 3 to 1 the field, Princess Layla and My Sabile, although we put them up $4.40 a pair, or even, I'm telling a fib, we put them up $4.80 a pair. 15 to 4 the field was the opening quote. My Sabile, I think the best fluck My Sabile was $5.50. I was $6.50 towards the end of betting, and plenty of $6. I can't work that one out. And of course, Princess Layla, who drew near the inside, it went from $4.80 out to $9.50. It didn't have a price. There are a couple of roughies backed. The winner was one of them, as much as $15 given, only started 13, and it got the biscuits. Up near the lead was the place to be. Race 6, and this was won by Youthful King, as I was saying earlier on. On the screen, they said there was 108.1. In the marketplace, 4 less, about 104%. And there was one runner, one of the pros emptied on a runner in this race, Kimberly Kidd, who got back in the field and it finished up running third. It ran a good race, made up plenty of ground. It was $15, as much as $15 for Kimberly Kidd given, only started $7.50. It more or less halved its price. The winner was also Well Found Youthful King. As much as $15 was given about Youthful King, only started $12. Loves the Going was written by a 3 kilo girl, Mrs. R. Murray. They'd gone hard up in front. Bonsai, who started clear favourite at about $4.60 or $4.40 even towards the end of betting. It was sensationally backed. I'd say because it was, of course, drew one of the outside. Yes, it did draw the outside alley, and it was always going to be up near the lead. And it was back to the scene of the crime where it won so well a few starts ago, and it did lead, and on its inside was one one-ton gun, and of course it stayed close to the fence, one-ton gun. But before the turn, Bonsai, who was well off the fence, tried to get a break on the field, and as soon as the rider went for it, he got ahead of one-ton gun. But soon after that, you could see it was history, and they started to round him up fairly easy, and they got past Bonsai, and it finished up back in the field. And while this was with the pace on, was always going to suit the winner. It was in the right section of the track. The girl eased it off their heels, turning for home, ran up to the leaders very quickly, ducked in after it crossed the leaders, and running second in the race was Smart Patrol, who wasn't a bad run because it was in behind the leaders, not close to the fence, a bit off, but still not really the place to be. And once it got past those runners, it had hung in a bit, or didn't hang in, but it finished inside runners but it did come down the outside, but finished inside, closer to the fence than the second, third, and fourth horses. Another runner that was drawn close to the fence was Lyric, and it went from $9 out to $20, doubling its price because of the inside alley. You couldn't give it away. And then we came to the last. Now it's interesting here in the last. You just know it. You just know it's not right as soon as you see it in Steak and Kidney. How in the hell can bookies in Sydney get 116.8, as they say on the screen? Now, I made it only around about 101, 16% less. Now that's it's a big discrepancy. Now these were the flux as I saw them. Namsarai it was $11. I was $16 when they jumped. I think they returned at $13. Martinus number 3 was $13. I was $26 when they jumped. I think they might have returned it, well, they have returned it less than that. Too High Tech was $8.50 out to $10. Sandrio was $30 out to $50. Zaba Float was $7.50 into $5.50 back to $6. The next runner, now this is a big difference here. Gregory Aeroplane number 9. They say the best luck was $6, a 5-to-1 chance. Well, there's a bit of difference when you can get, was $10 given in the outside ring. I never ever wound $7 off. I was $7.50 when they jumped, 13-2. It's returned 5-1, and as much as $10 was given in the outside ring. The next runner, my highlight, was 15 out to 19. Watertight was 60 out to 151. Bilko only went from $12 out to 19. Lexical ambiguity went from 26 out to 41, back into about $21. Nickel, now what am I talking about, nickel? Nasile, it was $11 out to 16, back into 12. Dollarino, you wouldn't see it, 26 out to 41. One of the pros stepped in, started only $18. Aminoso, it was $5 out to 6.50, back into 6. And Rivaled, you wouldn't see it, the best luck was 5.50 Rivaled, as much as $7 was given in the outside ring. $6 on the fence, that was $5 out to $7, back into $5.50. And so there is nowhere near the 116 that we saw on the screen. And this race was won by the top weight Namsarai. He was close to the fence coming down the side, got a bit off on the turn. Leading in this race was a designated leader, rivaled, who led at Gosford last start and won. Sitting on us outside was lexical ambiguity, and they did run along, and the rider, Jovial Jeff Prenza, he didn't get well away from the fence, and it was hard for proper Peter Roble to get away from the fence on Rival, and he stuck on very well. He finished up running fifth and he beat 2.2 lengths. If he would have been able to stay off the fence with a bit cosier run, who knows, it might have won, because it was pressured all the way, and as I say, did stick on. But by the same token, the winner, as I say, was close to the fence coming down the side, got a little bit off on the turn, but had to come inside runners where it wasn't the place to be, even though it wasn't real close to the fence. But when it switched around or in between runners, it did finish off the fence when you got down to near the post, and it held on very well. It beat my highlight, number 10, who came from sort of midfieldish, and also running on was Gregory Aeroplane down the outside. The margins were only 0.4 by 0.6, and sitting in third place all the way was, and having every chance, was Animoso, and it ran fourth, beaten only 1 length. That was about the meeting. A tough little school there today, as it always is, and especially on a rainy winter day at Warwick Farm. So if you were grumbling and grunting, I hope you won, and if you were Captain Cooking, I hope you won as well. Good evening.